Hi everyone, welcome to another roundup video. So for today's video, I am going to be doing a roundup of Jaclyn Cosmetics of everything I've tried this year. I think we all know what happened in 2019, and so 2020 was pretty mum, but 2021 has been much more active. I thought it would be really great for me because I have tried, a lot, probably too much. I thought I would round it up for you guys so you guys can hear my personal opinions on what is actually worth the money. Now, disclaimer, I bought a lot of these on sale, so I did not pay full price for the vast majority of the products I am talking about here. I'm gonna try my best to think about it from like a if I had paid full price from a perspective, but given that I didn't, I can't really feel the full impact of whether I like it or not, so absolutely take this with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. I don't really consider myself a product reviewer. I'm just somebody who really likes makeup, but as somebody, if you have dry skin like me, or if you just are super sketched out about her brand and want to hear my experiences, then by all means keep on watching. We will talk all about it. Now, I think at this point everybody has an opinion on Jaclyn Hill, so I'm not going to touch on that here. Her videos make me laugh and they entertain me when I'm drawing or editing or whatever, so that's really the extent of it. I'm going to tier her products, so they're not being ranked product for product, they're going to be broken into tiers, and I'm going to start with what I would just say no. Stay away from, not even worth sale price. Then I'm gonna go to could appeal to some people, not for everyone, probably best to get on sale. The next one is going to be good but not unique, not innovative. Lots of other brands have something like this, and so if you don't really want to buy from her brand, you absolutely could find something similar to what she offers from a different brand, so not unique. And then finally, what I consider to be the most flagship products from her brand, products I really haven't found anywhere else, products that I feel like she does really, really well and that would be worth your money even full price. That being said, she's done a surprisingly large number of sales both on her website and on the Morphe website this year, so I feel like even going in the future, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for any of you watching to just wait for a sale and buy her products then. So first off, let's talk about what I just don't buy it, not even worth on sale, and I'm telling you guys, I bought these for some pretty rock bottom prices on Morphe and I still would never recommend them. I'm gonna start with this. This is the liquid highlighter. You would think that Jaclyn, with her track record of highlighters, would do a really good job with highlighters. I got this for like $8 or $9. It is not even worth $8 or $9, let alone full price. This is absolute garbage. At first I thought maybe I was using it wrong because I used it without shaking the bottle. So I shook the bottle. It does nothing. It blends away into nothing. I don't even see sparkles all over my face. Teresa is dead style. I don't even see that. It literally just goes away. Where did it go? Don't buy this. Absolutely not worth the money. The best thing it could be used for would be like under foundation, slightly glowy skin, but literally just go buy a mini Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury and you will have the best thing ever for a pretty good price tag. For liquid highlighters, there's probably way better options. I've heard Rare Beauty makes a good one, so yeah, stay away from this. Next on the nope list would be the Rouge Romance lip cushions. So when I saw the advertising for these, I first got confused because the only other brand I've bought lip cushions from is Cosmetics, and those are obviously polar opposite to these. But then when I saw further information on these, I got really excited because they kind of seem like a matte mousse lip tint, so they seemed very, very Korean-esque. So of course I got really excited. Naturally, I didn't buy them full price because I didn't feel like it, but they were on sale for like literally $6.50, so I bought a couple shades. No. They're not worth it. They drag on the lips, they tug, they're very dry, very thick to the point of too dry. Totally reminds me of very old Korean matte lip tints that just dry the heck out of your lips and are totally worthless. So I will kind of put it on the back of my hand really quick to show you guys what I'm talking about. I don't have it on my lips today because dear God, no. But here's what it looks like on the applicator. You can see very, very thick texture, and I'm gonna kind of just put it on my skin, and like it's very, very dry. I don't think this would work on the lips at all. I've worn it multiple times. It's just a no from me, which is a shame. The only upside to these is the colors are actually really, really pretty, and these are colors that I don't really have in my range of Korean lip tints. I feel like the best way to wear these would be to put it on the back of your hand and then tap it on with your finger. So don't directly apply it. Tap it on with your finger on top of super hydrated lips. These are some pretty, really feminine shades. So if the shades are a super big draw for you, I guess go for it because, you know, I got them for like $6.50. So it's not the worst loss that I've ever taken, but I really just have such a hard time recommending these. Don't buy these unless you really want them. That's it in that tier. Thankfully, just those two products were like just total duds for me. So I would say that's pretty good. So we're gonna move on to the next one that says maybe for some people, probably not for most people, definitely get on sale. And I am going to start this off by saying that there is one product in this tier that I nearly put in the do not recommend tier, but after using it a few more times, I've come to realize there's definitely a market of people who would really enjoy this, so I moved it up. Barely made the cut, so I would say this is kind of the bottom of that tier, and that would be the lip lacquers from her holiday sale. These right here. Again, I got these on sale. I paid under $10 for these, so full price, a huge nope, but deep sale, which they are on deep sale right now. If you like these, you will like these. The colors are really nice. I'm currently wearing, I think I'm wearing Gumdrop right now. I can't remember. I'm wearing one of the shades right now. You can see very glossy, very pretty, very sticky. That's why I don't like them. They're really sticky. For example, the Romand water tints and juicy tints are not sticky at all, and neither are the Unleashia ones. But I will say the sticky finish this offers me is definitely very different. It's definitely not the same as like a water tint. It doesn't blend very well owing to its shininess and stickiness. I can't blend it to create the gradient lip that I want, but if you just want a defined lip, like if you do the more Western standard defined lips, sharper lip lines, then these definitely could work for you. And I will say, because it is very sticky, it lasts a really long time on my lips. It lasts through meals. It transfers everywhere, of course, not mask friendly, that's pretty obvious, but after thinking about it for a long time, I could definitely see these being for some people, and for me, it's like I really have to be in the mood for it to like it. So I am, of course, glad I paid sale price for these. All right, now we're gonna move into kind of the bulk of the tier where everything is like, everything else is better than those. So the next one I would say is in the maybe for some people but not for most / get on sale. I almost put these in the tier up where I said it's good but other brands have the exact same thing, because in my opinion, after using these for several months now, I would say other brands have this but better, and that would be the Rouge Romance blush palettes. Now it's especially a sore point for me because I did buy these full price, which not my brightest idea, but you know, you learn and you live and you learn. They have been on sale as low as half off, which is obviously the best way to get it, because for half off it's roughly the price of a drugstore blush palette, at which point I would say I can't complain. You'll like it. I will say the colors are definitely really pretty, really unique. Here's the cool one, definitely colors I didn't have before owning this, but if you heard me talk about the Menagerie blush palette in my reacting video where I talked about how I'm actually letting that go, I no longer use these as much for the exact same reason, where I discovered, especially as winter came and I started setting my base less and less, these are gonna stick and they're not gonna blend out, and they're really pigmented, which can be a really good thing. Definitely can be a good thing, but for me it's a no-go. If it's that pigmented and then it can't blend out, I can't work with it. So in the summer I was really liking it because I'm constantly having to completely set my skin down so it's totally matte, and I had no problems. But as I got closer to fall and winter, I realized I cannot use these. These are not for me, and in fact I'm probably gonna go ahead and pass these along because to only use this during the summer is such a waste, and I know there's other people who would love these, so that's why I put them in this tier ultimately. If you are the kind of person to constantly have a set base, very matte, and then you put your powders on top of that, then I think you would really love these because these are really great quality. They just don't work on an unset base, and that is why I keep going back to either my baked gelée formulas like Clinique Cheek Pop, or I go to my Korean formulas. So I feel like Korean blushes are just much more friendly towards blending out on still like tacky dewy skin, whereas a lot of Western blushes I think fail in that regard. I feel like this would actually be something that most people would like, and I'm probably in the minority where I just have a really odd situation, but I know there's other people like me who just don't set their base very much, have very dry skin, in which case I really can't say these would be for you. So yeah, that's why. In fact, I have a whole video, if you scroll, I have a whole video where I cheek swatched both palettes, so I did really like it for the time I had it during the summer. Next, I'm gonna say the Summer Putty highlighter from the summer collection. The lightest shade is sold out, and since it's limited edition, I have no reason to believe it'll ever come back. I bought Star Power mostly because it was like $8 or $9 on Morphe, and it looks like this. It's really pretty. Very, very reflective, very shiny. Definitely a far cry from that liquid highlighter, but the reason I'm putting this here is because I'm not even kidding. It's just a Super Shock highlighter. It literally reminds me, it's the same squishy formula, it's the same putty formula, it's the same shininess. So let me show you here my ColourPop Super Shock highlighter in Coastin. Here I'll squish it in the pan, and on the fingers you can see how they just really are the exact same thing, but the ColourPop one is under $10 and even cheaper on sale, and the Jaclyn one is full price over $20. So that's why I'm putting it here, because it's really not worth full price, and there truly are better, cheaper options on the market just like it. Considered buying more of the shades when they were on sale because I thought about using them as eyeshadow, but then I was like, don't be dumb. So that's really the only reason it's there. It's good, but like, literally ColourPop Super Shock highlighters exist. Why are you looking at these? Just go buy a ColourPop Super Shock highlighter and get the same thing. Okay, next is going to be, they are good. I really enjoyed them, but other brands have the exact same offerings. So if you don't want to shop from her brand, you're not missing out. So good, but not innovative. Good, but I've seen this before. That's where this tier lands. So I do actively like everything that's in here. So the first thing I'm gonna say are her lip liners. I have 3. I'm only holding up 2, but I do have 3. I mentioned these in my most used makeup video as how much I like them because they are truly solid lip liners. I have Cupcake, Macaron, and Blondie. I use Blondie the most, and I've already started sharpening it down. They are absolutely wonderful lip liners. I did buy them on sale. They were $9. I don't know if they're worth full price, so that's why I put them in this tier, because I feel like, you know, just wait for a sale and then buy the shades you want. But they are truly a solid formula. Really like them. I use these over the M Cosmetics ones just because I got them for $9, and M Cosmetics literally never has sales, so like I'll never get those M Cosmetics liners for under $18. I think they're great. I could recommend them. And if you wanted them, I don't think you'd be disappointed. They are less creamy than ColourPop Lippy Pencils, so I do like that because I feel like the Lippy Pencil, it's easy to lose control. I will just say that right there. Next, I'm going to say, my handwriting's messy, hold on. All right, next I'm gonna move on to her powders, and I'm just gonna cover these all in one fell swoop. So I'm gonna be talking about the Last Act Translucent Setting Powder. I'm talking about her under eye palette, and lastly, I'm talking about the loose powder, which I have in Lilac. So I bought all 3 of these at full price, and actually I don't really regret it because I do really enjoy all 3 of them, but I'm not putting them in top tier because there is one of her powders that's top tier, and these just really can't hold a candle to them. This really reminds me of just being a pressed version of her Mood Light Luminous powder. I feel like she was going for that, just turn it pressed, but I just don't feel like it's as good. This definitely, to me, does not feel like any kind of setting powder. This is totally just a finisher or buffing powder to add a nice luminous finish to your skin, which it does really well. But even in the winter, this does nothing to set my skin. So that doesn't make it bad. It just means that people are gonna buy it and then wonder why it doesn't set their makeup. So if you are looking for just a really pretty finishing powder that adds a super natural glow to the skin, I think you would really like this. But if you're looking for a setting powder for dry skin, avoid this. This does not even set my skin, which is saying something. Next, I'm gonna talk about the under eye palette. I think this one suffered the most from her giving absolutely zero explanations on how to use this. This, out of everything that she has published, really could have benefited from a video talking about it, and at the time that she released this collection, no video was to be found. So a lot of people, me included, were floundering around figuring out how to use it. So I personally really like it. I will mention I only really use these top 2 shades. These bottom 2 shades are too dark, and so they go mostly unused, but these top 2 shades are fine. This is my summer setting powder for my under eyes and the inner T-zone of my face. I don't use this during the winter, too drying, but during the summer, humid days, this absolutely does a fantastic job, and the powders actually have a significantly large amount of pigmentation to them, so I feel like if I cannot get my concealer to cover my dark circles, the powder will take care of the rest, which is actually really, really nice. So I personally really enjoy it for that reason, but I'm not putting it in the top tier because it just can't match with the products in the top tier. This lilac is beautiful, definitely really brightens my skin, excellent for people who have kind of those sallow, yellow, or olive undertones that you want to brighten up a little bit. You know how people either have like a capital T-zone or a lowercase T-zone for where they're oiliest? I have a lowercase T-zone, so during the summer I absolutely am using this all down the middle of my face. Works like a charm. I just don't use this during the winter. It's not year-round for me. These both are not year-round for me, so that's why they're in this tier. I don't think you'd be disappointed if you got them. I mean, I really like them. I know the reviews on this collection were pretty hit or miss, but I mean, I had a good time. Let's talk about her holiday face palette. I bought it full price. I don't regret it. I really enjoy it. Of course, there's better on the market, and the reason I'm putting this here is because she advertised these completely incorrectly. She said that it is a cream to powder face palette. Lies. It's very powdery. You put your brush in here, you're gonna see tons of powder kickback. That doesn't detract from the fact that the finish of these is beautiful. And the blush is a glowy blush. This highlighter is too dark for me, but great blush topper. And this is a beautiful highlighter that I can use on my nose. These two highlighters are actually not super intense. They definitely are not as intense as her normal powder highlighters, but in a way I like that because that means that it can stand on its own and I don't feel like she's overlapping herself too much. So I'm putting it in this tier again just because it can't match up to the high standards I set for the first tier, but I still really enjoy it, and for having gotten it full price, I don't regret it one bit. I really liked using it, and it is on sale right now, so if anybody was considering it, I don't think you'd be disappointed. It actually is super pretty. Next, also from her holiday collection, I'm gonna talk about the shimmer top coats, of which I actually did eventually acquire all 6 shades, so I'm just gonna hold up 3 here. These have a beautiful finish, but as I've mentioned in a previous video, the biggest flaw is how difficult it is for the product to transfer from your finger to your eyelid. It has a really hard time doing that. It just wants to stick to your eyelid. So on your finger, you're gonna get a beautiful swatch, and then you put it on your eyelid and you're like, wait, let me hold up the shade I used today. I used one of the shades on my eyes today. I used Glassy today, so in the pan, you can see how beautiful shiny it looks. It translates like this on your finger, but then if I come in closer to the camera, you can see that it ends up looking a little more diffuse on my eyelid. I used it, you know, right across the middle of my eyelid. It looks more diffuse. That being said, these actually remind me of Korean shimmer eyeshadows, particularly the more glittery finish ones that don't have actual chunks of glitter. For example, like a Romand eyeshadow or something like that. They actually remind me really closely of that. So I personally think the finish is absolutely beautiful, but it is definitely a case where it's easy to swatch it and be amazed, and then when you go home and put it on your eyelid, you're so disappointed. I can totally see how that would really make people upset, because initially I kind of felt the same way, only to realize, you know, given how much I do like a nice toppery finish, I actually really still enjoy them, so I did go out and get all 6. Clearly I like it, so that's why I put it in tier 2. It just has that one glaring flaw. Now, I haven't tried it yet putting it over glitter glue or any other kind of really sticky tacky primer. I haven't tried that yet. I have tried it with a flat stiff brush like this, really flat, really stiff, really thin. Works surprisingly well. So like if you want to get more payoff, definitely stick with a very flat stiff brush like this. You'll get more payoff that way. They are also on sale right now as I'm filming this video, so you know, I think for the sale price they're honestly really not so bad. But I feel like if you already have other pot shadows in your collection, like I really want to try more pot shadows next year. I want to try Hourglass and Victoria Beckham in particular, and I feel like if you already had Victoria Beckham or Hourglass shadows, you have no business trying to get these. That's where that's gonna land. Next, I'm going to put the blush sticks, which I actually personally really super duper like, but again, lots of other brands have blush sticks, and at full price, the price of these is comparable to other brands' blush sticks. Now, I bought this at full price, the shade Empress, which is a very pinky shade, really pretty, and when they were on sale, the other 3 actually just arrived in the mail like literally today, so very happy about that. They were like 10 bucks a piece, so for 10 bucks, you can't complain there. These are really great. These kind of remind me of the M So Soft collection, where you need so little pressure and it just comes full opacity onto your skin, but then it's really easy to buff out with a brush. So I do really appreciate it for that. Doesn't take off my foundation. Solid blush stick. It's just, again, blush sticks, cream blushes, liquid blushes totally had a heyday in 2021. So at this point, there's so many that you can pick from that you don't have to buy them from Jaclyn Cosmetics. But that being said, I really enjoy them. Definitely one of my more favorite releases from this year. I still really like them, and now that they're on sale, I mean, they definitely are worth it on sale. So there's that. And lastly, I'm gonna put her loose highlighters. Now, I actually think that loose highlighters aren't super common on the market, and right now being $10 on her website is an absolute steal, because these are beaming. Like, these are the brightest highlighters I've ever used in the history of ever, and they're amazing for that. Like, she did not exaggerate how bright they are. They are actually as bright as she says. So if you're looking for a beaming bright highlighter, you're not going to be disappointed. These are absolutely lovely. I have the shade Extra, basically the only one that really would fit my skin tone, so that's why I don't have any more, although they're like, at the time of filming, they're $10 on her website. So like, the only reason they're not in tier 1 is because loose highlighters are already a pretty niche product as it is. There's a reason that brands don't make too many of them, and they are so shiny that it can border on unusable. They do make for really pretty eyeshadows though, I will say that. So yeah, that's the only reason it's in tier 2. I feel like it's a little scary, like a little intimidating. Doesn't quite make the cut, but it is the closest. It like, I had it juggled between the two tiers. It kept bouncing back and forth, so it's kind of at the top end of tier 2, I would say. This is gonna be in tier 2. I almost put this in tier 3 because it has one really big flaw, but I ended up putting it in tier 2, so I guess this would be closer to the bottom end of tier 2, so we're going from like top to bottom. But the matte liquid lipstick from the holiday collection, I have it in Bow. It was like on super sale. That's the only reason I got it. I've definitely made it clear in the past where I'm just not interested in Western liquid lipsticks. I think they are vastly inferior to Korean liquid lipstick formulas, but the color of this and the fact that it was on sale, it really intrigued me because this is bordering on purple. It has a lot of blue. This is the bluest red I've ever used. It almost looks like a purple red, but it is still reads very red. So definitely a super unique red color. I really wanted to try it. It is actually really nice. It didn't dry out my lips. I wore it all day long. I had fried rice for dinner. It stayed on through that. It didn't even come off a little bit. Now, if you had like a burger or something, I could see it coming off, but it didn't budge at all. It didn't crack, it didn't cake. My lips felt still just as hydrated as when I put them on. Only problem with this, and I think it is probably just due to the color, but the only problem I had with this was that it stains. Oh, it stains. It did not come off. Like, I took it off and my lips were still the same color as the liquid lipstick even after I'd taken all the product off with makeup remover. It took a full 48 hours for all that liquid lipstick pigmentation remnants to finally come off my lips. So that's really the biggest flaw that this has, is that it stains. So it wouldn't surprise me if the rest of her holiday liquid lipstick collection have the same problem of staining, because they are all very deep, very intense, very vampy shades. But other than that, this is the best Western liquid lipstick formula I've tried to date. I was really amazed at how non-drying it was, considering that it completely set down. I didn't feel like I was wearing anything because it wasn't sticky, it didn't transfer onto anything. It really sets down, and yet it didn't dry my lips out. I did find that to be super awesome. Now, I have heard these are a slightly different formula than to her core range, so this is specific to her holiday range. I will not speak to her core range of liquid lipsticks. I don't own any of those. I actually really enjoyed this. Now we're gonna move up to the best and most representative parts of her brand. I feel like these are either just so good that I would say that she has some of the best in the market, or they're so unique that I don't think you could find them anywhere else. So I had a very high standard for this tier, so this tier is very small. But what is in this tier, I wholeheartedly love and use all the time. So if you were to buy it, I think you would really like it. I hope I don't lead you astray. Obviously, buy with your own intentions in mind. Anytime something is more expensive than drugstore or road shop prices, I have a really hard time recommending, because it's a lot of money to spend just to be disappointed. Yeah, I still did want to share that these are the things I genuinely love. Her brand isn't just full of crap. There are some really good things in there. So let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to say is something that you can't actually get anymore. Her comeback collection of holiday highlighters definitely really had it made. I feel like these are still some of the best she's ever made, and I have the Flash highlighter palette right here. The reason I'm sharing this is because she did make basically all these shades available as singles, and as far as I can tell, the formula is still the same, so I would definitely recommend her single highlighters. They are not as bright as her loose highlighters, but honestly that makes it so much easier to use. They are still brilliant and beaming, but they're not like ridiculously so. Really pretty. The shades are really nice. They make also for really great inner corner highlighters. I use the Flash palette. I have been using it consistently ever since I got it. I really like it. Would definitely recommend the singles. It's a shame that she never made the palettes permanent. I really personally wish she had. Next, I'm gonna talk about the under eye primer right here. I'm not even joking, my concealer has never sat better than when I use this. If I forget to use this, I can immediately tell my concealer just immediately looks worse. Somehow this just makes my under eye concealer look amazing. I even have started to put this on my upper eyelid as eyeshadow primer, and somehow it makes the eyeshadows blend much better. No patchiness because my eyelids are now moisturized, and so the eyeshadows can actually stick to them. So I absolutely love this, and you can definitely tell going back through my videos where I have been using this the majority of the time. And if ever there was a video I didn't use it, it's because I straight up forgot, and then I hated how my concealer looked later. This really has truly made all the difference for how my under eyes looked. It is one of the most dramatic products that I've gotten this year because my under eyes have never looked better. I'm amazed. This really made all the difference. It has definitely made me take under eye primer seriously, and yet at the same time, this is the only one that I want to use. I'm too scared to try the other ones. I want to stick with this one. So this is the weirdest product to put in tier 1, but I think that just goes to show how good this is. Next, I want to talk about two things, which is gonna finish off this video, but these two things are her brand. Like, I think of her brand and I immediately jump to wanting to recommend these two products, and fittingly they both are pretty much the exact same variations of a product, and I think that's so funny. But if you wanted to get just one or two things from her brand, you absolutely couldn't go wrong with these. These are so good, and that would be her Mood Light Luminous powders. She has a luminous blush and a Mood Light Luminous setting finishing powder. I'm not even joking, these are just the best that her brand has to offer, and I feel like particularly with the luminous blush, I can't really think of or find any market comparison that I would say is similar to this. This is truly unique to her brand. So yeah, and I know a lot of people are very intimidated by loose blushes, but I promise you these are so easy to use. You just want to pour some into the cap, and you see the pink tinge on the lid. It's because I will take the brush, and when I dip it into the powder that's on the lid, I will also rub circles. That really spreads the powders evenly and takes off excess pigment, and then you can apply it to your cheeks. This is absolutely beautiful. In fact, I'm not even wearing any of her highlighters on my face. I am just, the glow I have on my cheeks is purely from the Mood Light Luminous powder and the Luminous blush. That is the glow I get from these two products combined. You can see just how beautiful it makes my skin look. Gorgeous glow has been imparted upon my cheeks from just these two products. They really are just absolute standouts. The Mood Light powder I've talked about many times at this point, being one of my top powders of all time. Unlike the pressed and translucent setting powder, this actually can set my makeup in the winter, and on top of that it imparts a gorgeous glow, or I can even use it on top of setting powder. It doesn't dry my skin out. The extra layer of powder doesn't bother my skin, and this acts as basically essentially an extremely subtle yet beautiful highlighter. It reminds me very vaguely of like the Hourglass face powders, but it's more intense than those. So it's like, I guess the closest counterpart I would have would be the Infinity powder from Hourglass, which is more glowy than their other powders, but this is still maybe 10% more glowy than that, and it's smooth. It doesn't emphasize any texture, and there's absolutely no glitter in it whatsoever, which is kind of the biggest downfall of the Infinity powder, which I still like, but I like this way more. This is beautiful powder, and I absolutely will rebuy this once I run out. Similarly, I love this blush. It's so beautiful. I have mentioned before how the Romand better than cheek blushes. They are so matte that not only are they blush, but they also are pore blurring. This is not only blush, but also glow giving finishing powder. Multiple complexion finishers in one plus blush. It's almost as if the blush is just a bonus icing on the cake and on top of the beautiful finish this gives to the skin. Absolutely can recommend these both wholeheartedly. Full price or not, I think these both are worth every single penny, and I really don't have a blush in my collection with the equivalent type of finish. There definitely are powder blushes that are glowy, but they just don't hit the same. They can't match up to this. There's something about this. Something about this is so beautiful. I love it so much. So, and that's it. That rounds up all the products I have from Jaclyn. Like I said, I don't have everything from her, thank goodness. Not that crazy. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope this might help guide you guys for your purchase decisions. I'm still very much going to be picking and choosing things to buy. Now that I know how many sales she does, I might not buy at full price as often as I did in 2021. I would like to in the future do more brand roundup videos from brands where I've tried a range of products. So I do want to make like a rounding up Romand lip products video. If I try more, I haven't tried very much from Lunar Beauty, but I've tried enough that I could make a short video on Lunar Beauty, Cosmetics. Yeah, I definitely want to do more brand roundup videos of where I tier things. I'm gonna end this video by just very quickly now summarizing through what I said, and I'm going to very quickly tell you guys what was in each tier. I'm not gonna do it in the order of worst to best because I just can't remember it because my notes are a complete mess, but let me just quickly summarize everything. So the Nope category would say liquid highlighter and the Rouge Romance lip cushions. And then the next tier, get on sale, maybe for some people, but not for me, but could see how some people could like this. The lip lacquers, the blush palettes, the summer limited edition putty highlighter. Okay, that's in that tier. The next tier, the largest tier, good, but not special or unique. You totally can find something from a different brand. The pressed setting powder, the Last Act pressed setting powder, the under eye setting powder quad, the loose under eye powder, the shimmer top coats from the holiday collection, the blush sticks from the Rouge Romance collection, the loose highlighters, and then the matte liquid lip from the holiday collection. Finally, the tier 1, recommend, representative, unique, all three would be the under eye primer, the highlighter quad, of which it is now available in singles. And finally, the Mood Light Loose Powder and the Mood Light Luminous Loose Blushes. And that rounds that up for you guys. So I hope you guys found this video really helpful. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to ask. And yeah, I'm pretty happy so far with the brand, honestly. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be back very soon. Bye-bye!